Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order on August 20th, 2025. May we have the Pledge of Allegiance, Mayor Porco? Thank you, Mayor Porco. May we have the roll call, please, Mr. Abrams?
Yes, Madam President. Mr. Bacon. Present. Mr. Baoki. Present. Mr. DeCosta.
Present.
Mr. Fosbrink. Present. Mr. Lawrence. Present. Ms. Lewis. President Martin.
Present.
Mayor Porco. All present.
Thank you. I'd like to start out with the retirement presentation from Ameriserve, please. To see you again.
Thank you for having us again. Good evening to the committee. Once again, my name is Frank Lipinski. I am the investment manager on the two pension plans. With me is Michael Stem, and he is the administrator. So we could go right into tab number 1. We're going to take a look at the police pension first. So in tab number 1, I broke it out this time in 2 different reports to take a look at the first quarter of this year. So the stock market was doing very well up to February 19th. And then President Trump came out and announced that he was going to instill trade tariffs. So if you take a look up in the upper left-hand corner, this account is set up to be in a balanced objective. So the pie that you see up in the left-hand corner, the largest shaded color is in green. And that denotes equity or the stock market. So at the end of the first quarter, you were at 62% or 7,929,000 in the stock market. The other large shaded color is in red, fixed income. That had over 36% or a total of 4,619,000 in a fixed income. Of course, you had cash equivalents, which is your money market, and you had about 0.5% there. So if you take a look down in the right-hand corner, as I mentioned, it was a difficult quarter after February. So there's a number that you see, net investment change. The account was down 540,000 for the first quarter. And that percentage equated, that dollar amount equated out to 4.11% that it was down for the first quarter. Now, if we take and turn over the page, we'll take a look at the second quarter. And this is after President Trump announced the negotiations. So if take a look at the second quarter down in the right-hand corner from March 31st up to July 31st, the account gained 1,114,000 or 9.18%. So he had a huge comeback return after he announced that he was going to negotiate with other countries. The history report. So if we take a look at the right-hand middle of the page on the right-hand side, we have 2 columns, the year to date. So up through July 31st. If you look at that net investment change, the account made $603,917 for the first 7 months. That equated out to 4.7%, which didn't match the market because the first quarter, the second quarter did bring us back. We are crawling upwards, so it's going well. If you look at the inception column, so we started managing this account in 2009, 16 years ago. Started out with $3,914,392, outflows of $1,367,915. The account over the last 16 years made over $11 million in 16 years, which equated out to 9.72% annually. It did very well. No questions there. We'll go on to tab 2, employees' pension. Again, it is managed identically in a balanced objective. So you'll see up in the left-hand corner of the pie, you'll see that the equity or the stock market exposure at the end of the first quarter was at 62% or 2,492,000. Fixed income, it denotes in red of that pie, had 36% in there, 1,456,000, and we had about 24,000 in the money market, about 0.5%. Look down the right-hand corner, you'll see the same type of returns for the first quarter. The account was down 169,000 for the first quarter, and that was down 4.09%. And then when we turn over to the second page, we'll take a look at the second quarter up to July. The account gained over 359,749 or 9.16%. Again, it was a nice recovery. And finally, we have on the third page, the history page. This account has also been open for 16 years. The year-to-date return for the first 7 months was at $190,399 in dollars, or 4.7%. And since the inception, that net investment change amount, you made over $4,053,000 or 9.8% annually. It's done very well. Any questions on those two? I will take just 1 more minute of your time. Go to tab 3. I put this together for our internal group. Again, just take 1 minute. 7 shocks to the market. So we had, if you look at the date range, so if you look at that page, there's a date range of 3/23 of 2020 to 8/12 of 25. 3/23 is when the S&P hit a low point due to COVID. And since that time period, we've had 7 shocks to the market. You can see there, COVID, the supply chain, inflation, fastest interest rate increase, 2 wars and trade tariffs. But during that 5-year plus time period, the first circle, the S&P made over 212%, which was over 23% annually. So again, I think we lose sight of, even though there's so much turmoil out there, which is going to happen constantly, the markets have been very resilient to look through a lot of those turmoils, those shocks. Next page over. The average return for the S&P over the last 65 years has been 10.6% annually. Here was 2 years that really gave us some great returns. So the date range is 12/30 22 to 24. So 23 and 24, the S&P returned that first circle over 57%, over 25% each year. That's phenomenal. So investors that have bailed out at certain times really missed unprecedented returns that they could have received. And page 3 shows you that from the beginning of this year until I talked about earlier to February 19th, the market was up 4.63%. And that was great. We thought we were going to have another good year. Page 4. Then President Trump comes out and announces his trade tariffs. The S&P from February 19th to April 8th dropped over 18%, pretty much in bear market territory. That was what they call waterfall effect, just a huge drop. Then on page 5, President Trump announces on April 8th, I'm going to negotiate. The stock market from April 8th to August 12th is up over 29%. So they erased that big drop. And finally, on page 6, the stock market, when I printed this out on August 12th, was up over 10.44% for this year. So basically, it's on track to repeat its historical average annual return of over 10%. Again, just something that I wanted to let the committee know that we've had a lot of issues in the market, but yet we're still moving forward. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
On
Thank you.
behalf of Mayor Sir, we thank you for your business. Great.
I'm moving on then to the president's report.
Any questions?
Oh, you had a question? Okay. Sorry.
So just simple question for everybody in the room, since you can't see this little pie chart, looking at the police pension, we've got 35% in fixed income, 64% in equity. And I know we've got several late career people who are going to be retiring soon and such. Do you folks ever make adjustments to the percent that you've got in fixed income kind of secure? Based on, needs of immediate retirement, just want to have a little extra security and concerns over markets being inflated, things like that. Do you ever make active adjustments in that
We do.
percentage?
So your pie for the stock or the equity portion shows 64%. So both plans are managed on a balanced objective, which looks at both the younger employees and employees closer to retirement. It kind of suits them both. However, because the upward trend in the markets over the last couple of years, balance you'd think 50-50, while the balance on this stock allows us to go up to 60% on the upper end to invest if we think the stock market's going to do well. And then from that 60%, we have what is called a 5% variation. So right now, I'm pushing that limit of the stock market up to 64-65%. But if we see that the markets, these trade tariffs that they're talking about, if they really come into effect and with pricing and inflation again, I can pare that back to 50%. So we have a range in each sector based off of whether it's a fixed income or the equity or the stock sector that we could change based off of market conditions. And we do move. We're active managers, yes. But right now, we feel more strongly about the stock market than the fixed income market.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
Great, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, for my president's report, tomorrow, the Borough of Forest Hills is applying for the Forest Hills Borough Stormwater Pollutant Reduction Plan grant that will help us achieve MS4 compliance. On Saturday, September 6th at 5 o'clock, the 107th Bryn Mawr Corn Roast is being held on Woodside Road between Sylvan and Hillcrest. The cost for adults is $10 and children under 12 is $5. Everyone is welcome, so feel free to stop by. Lastly, we will have an executive session after tonight's meeting. That's all I have. Thank you. Mayor Porco, may we have your report, please?
Actually have no report tonight, Madam President, and nor is there an update on the Forest Hills Community Alliance.
Thank you very much. Mr. Abrams, may we have your report, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Council has my report from the last meeting. The only additional update that I have is there were from our Wilkinsburg Penn joint water, there were some water breaks that have all been fixed, and tax money coming in is exceeding percentage of last year. So as Jordan's gotten on track, we are seeing improved collections.
Thank you. Chief Williams, may we have your report?
Thank you, President Morton. I just want to report on the event we had with the National Night Out. We had that back on Tuesday, the 6th. I wanted to tell you that unfortunately, I was unable to attend. We had a meeting that night, but my officers were all out there along with the fire department and EMS. They visited all the parties that were out there. There was nice turnout. It was a nice night to have that. And again, they had the opportunity to talk to everybody, and everybody had fairly positive comments. I know there's always something or other that somebody's not happy about, and that's something we can look at to try to make or correct if needed. So again, it was a good event, and I wanted to thank everybody who took the time to prepare those parties to have those. So again, anytime we can have the opportunity to be out there with the public, we'd like to do that. So again, thanks to them, and again, nice night out. Hopefully we'll have another one next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Williams. Mr. Corbel, is there a solicitor's report?
No public report this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving on then to the committee or board reports. Mr. Bacon, anything tonight?
Not this month.
Thank you. Mr. Lawrence?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Bioki?
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Now we're moving on to public comment. At this time, citizens may address council on any issue, whether appearing on today's agenda or not. Only residents and taxpayers of the Borough of Forest Hills will be permitted to address council. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. Groups of people will be required to designate a spokesperson to represent them before council, who may speak for a maximum of 10 minutes. Citizens are asked to use the microphone at the speaker stand, clearly state their name and address for the record, and keep comments brief and to the point. Please spell the name for the record. And speakers are reminded that council uses these comment periods as opportunity to gather information and not to respond directly to concerns raised. Information gathered will not be discussed at the business meeting, but instead will be referred by the council president to the appropriate committee for review and discussion at the next committee meeting. On our sign-up sheet, Mr. Sivak, you're up first, please.
Everybody, Bruce Sivak, 521 Decatur Avenue. Pretty much we all celebrate anniversaries. Unfortunately, not myself. We're coming up on 2-year anniversary of when I first brought the conditions of Decatur Avenue to the council. Over that time, we've had several meetings, discussed different ways it's going to be repaired, how it's going to be paid for. We're running short on time, folks. We're going to have the fall here before you know it. Your paving season is going to be over, and Decatur Avenue is continually falling apart. And I encourage, once again, every one of our council members to drive Decatur Avenue, the 500 block, and see how much it has deteriorated just since the year. It's getting worse, but as we speak. We had some construction people on there the other day, and literally chunks of the old asphalt were just being thrown up in the air because they're just lying there. They're not adhered to anything. Basically, that's all I wanted to say. I mean, we've had a couple of those meetings. I've attended the Public Works. Rich and the company has been very gracious on sharing the information on how they want to do it, what they want to do. But now I just want to know when we're going to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anita Payne.
(103) Washington Road. Unfortunately, I'm back again. Reason is I'd like to give these pictures to whoever the zoning person is, or the person who's a compliance person who's I've been told to get in touch with. I have a house next door to me that is overgrown and hasn't had the grass cut in a year. I unfortunately am already dealing with the gas company. Now it looks like in front of my house, there is not only asphalt, there is gravel, there is sand, there is a portage on practically in my front yard. I need to speak to somebody about all of this. I'll be glad to hand my pictures off. The issues next door are the debris that's coming, and in the middle of the night, deer are coming to this person's yard, knocking over bird houses, and there's food everywhere. There's rodents everywhere. So I'll give these pictures to Seth, and he can get in touch with me.
Thank you.
President Martin, I have just a quick question. What is the address of the property that you're referring to? What is the address of the property that you're referring to?
I've lived here for 25 years, and I always thought writing about trees. Several trees being planted in the front. Beth or whoever's in charge of that to check that for me, because I need to know one way or another.
Thank you. Mr. Boyle.
Good evening. I am Rick Boyle, 322 Woodside Road.
And I'm here tonight as a follow-up. I've been with you some months ago regarding the issue of speeding and unsafe conditions on Woodside Road. And it's been going on for a number of years. At the time, we were concerned about this, and there wasn't, I guess, an official process in place to request a street study regarding those conditions. And appreciate Angelo, after the process was established as far as the petition, that we were able to, my neighbor Phoebe Marshall and I had an opportunity to gather 52 signatures out of 66 households on Woodside Road. And that's close to 80% as in addition to the 60% that's required. So I'd like to present this to council, and please give this major consideration so that we can look into safety issues along Woodside. We didn't have a person that refused or had any other but concerns about this issue. So I was a little bit surprised, but everyone was very supportive of looking into this. So really appreciate your efforts in that regard, and neighbors do too. Would you like to say? You want to say? Please.
I'm Phoebe Marshall at 615 Woodside Road, and I was just gonna say there's lots of little ones on our street also. Thank you.
Thank you. Much appreciate that. Is there anyone else for public speaking? Okay, then we're going to move on to the business meeting. Mr. DeCosta, Planning and Zoning.
Thank you, Madam President. Since I am not physically there, I'd like to defer to my Vice Chair of Planning and Zoning, Mr. Lawrence, to conduct our part of the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The three motions tonight. Number one, I present a motion to approve an ordinance changing the designated zoning district of the property known as 2060 Ardmore Boulevard from S2 Special District to B1 Commercial District in accordance with the application to amend the zoning map filed by Caswell Properties LLC.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any comment? Mr. Bacon?
To thank Mr. DeCosta for a lot of leadership and action on all of the recent zoning stuff and really getting us to discuss this and looking through options with business leaders and everybody. And I was close to feeling like we should be looking into this change. But I think overall, preserving the long-term mission of the S2 as sort of a buffer between the business district and the residential areas around it was my main concern against voting for this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Then may we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Certainly. Roll call vote on the question of a motion to approve the ordinance changing the designated zoning district of the property known as 2060 Ardmore Boulevard from S2 Special District to B1 Commercial District in accordance with the application to amend the zoning map filed by Caswell Properties LLC. Mr. Bacon, how do you vote?
No.
Mr. Bayoki? No. Mr. DeCosta?
No.
Mr. Fosbrink?
No.
Mr. Lawrence?
No.
Ms. Lewis?
No.
President Martin?
No.
Motion fails, unanimous vote 0-7.
Thank you. I motion to approve the lot subdivision of lot block 298 S68 as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comment? I'm looking at you. No, I'm just kidding. May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Motion to approve the lot subdivision and consolidation of block and lot numbers 298 S8 and 298S16 and 299D60 as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That concludes the Planning and Zoning Commission report for this evening. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Then moving on to operations and policy.
Thank you again. This will be fast. Approval of the minutes from July 1st, 2025 and July 16, 2025.
Second.
Any comments? Can we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Finance, please. Ms. Lewis?
Sure, just for the record, the treasurer's report is on page 6 of our packet. I would like to make a motion to approve the July bills totaling $681,649.31 from the general fund, sewer fund, fire protection fund, road improvement fund, capital improvements, and liquid fuels fund.
Comments? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I have a second motion to approve the bid from Bartlett Tree Service for professional services as described in the tree inventory RFP and authorizing the manager to execute a contract with the vendor for said services on behalf of the borough.
Second.
We have a voice, oh, I'm sorry. Any comments? Mr. Bacon?
Just reminding folks who are not familiar with this, that this is funded by a grant. And we were luckily, due to that and that being the nature of professional services, able to really pick and choose the best fit for the borough to make the best use of our available funds.
Anyone else? Ms.
And-
Lewis?
I just, for the record, want to acknowledge that this was the recommendation of the Tree and Shrub Committee, was to choose this vendor after a pretty rigorous and thoughtful process.
Anyone else?
Thank you to the Tree and Shrub Committee for their hard work.
Well, if there's no one else, then may we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Does that end?
Oh, I'm sorry. That concludes my report.
Moving on to borough property, Mr. Bacon.
Thank you, President Martin. I have a motion to approve the resolution 1292, committing to the eradication of invasive plant species on borough-owned properties.
Second.
Any comments? Mr. Bacon?
Clarify for those in the audience and elsewhere, this is essentially setting up a level of priority for how the borough addresses invasive species and has plenty of room in it for any future issues or future invasive species that come up, and provides a strong framework for us addressing those on a long-term, strategic, and ongoing basis.
Anyone else? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I also have a motion to authorize the borough engineer to advertise the bid package for the lower level pool renovations project.
Second.
Any comments?
Yes. So this will be a significant enhancement to the pool lodge, restrooms, changing areas, all of that. It includes a family restroom. It includes several new individual restroom stalls and more private changing areas. And I think will be a huge improvement to the general pool experience for all our borough residents.
This is on a grant too. Anyone else? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you. That concludes borough property.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. Mr. Fosbrink, Public Works, please.
Thank you, Madam President. If I may, first, I would like to address our Decatur issue and just
give a quick rundown that the plan is that we will be able to fix it with the leftover materials once the paving has been started, but it will be replaced with concrete is the plan at this particular moment. Okay. Okay. Motion to authorize the borough engineer to advertise the bid package for the pollution reduction project at Forest Hills Park.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comment? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve the concurring resolution 1293 requesting $250,000 from the GEDTF program for the Forest Hills Borough Pollutant Reduction Plan Stormwater Improvement Project.
Second.
Any comments? May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Fosbrink. Mr. Bioki, Public Safety.
Thank you, President Martin. I have a motion to approve the purchase order of a Ford Explorer hybrid vehicle for the Forest Hills Police Department with a 2026 delivery date and a total cost not to exceed $85,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments?
President Martin, if Mr. Abrams would like to just comment on the purchase.
Oh, I didn't see. I was looking this way.
Oh, he didn't. I'm asking if he would.
As is in the updates on the back, in order to ensure that we are able to acquire a vehicle early on in the year and at the current available pricing, it is important that council approve this in a reasonably quick period of time such as now, so that the chief can actually have the vehicle and we can be ready to go after upfitting. It's usually a couple of months. Usually we're looking around March, April that the new vehicle will be able to be put in service by approving it now.
I'd also like to add that we may be able to offset the cost. There was an influx of money that came from donation from the auxiliary police. That was 19,000. We still have about 5,000 in the canine fund, so that almost brings us up to $25,000.
Mr. Bacon.
I'm in favor of getting the order in, but I would ask that we still try and see if it might be possible to get a Blazer EV Pursuit.
They're
Just
not
to
available.
verify. Okay. So we've 100%.
Yeah,
there's no change.
they are not available for purchase yet.
Okay, thank you.
Else. May we have a voice vote, please? All in favor, say aye.
That concludes public safety.
Is there anything under old business? Anything under new business? Okay, then I move to adjourn the meeting by acclamation. Are there any objections? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.